This is Just AMZN on Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. Taking the 5 minute. We had a bullish retest gap today. Had a pretty strong bearish slant at the close on Monday, and then gapped up quite a bit from there. And it kind of started to make that move up to here after hours, and then still opened above that. You can see kind of an S curve here, but it just needed to retest a little more. So it came back down, came almost to this pivot, rallied, and then this really nice evening star reversal looks just like the one we got yesterday, and sure enough, it sold off from there. Came back down just about into 1815, not quite there. I was really looking for it to come down there with a nice hammer and bounce. It was just a little bit slower to do that. Or not slower, sorry, it didn't get all the way there. And then the bounce was really slow going back up. It just grinded all midday like this. You had some volume coming in here as like a double bottom formed. You even had some more bullish buying here, and then the buying all dried up. I mean, it just went really choppy. You had a little more volume come in here on this bullish candle than this one. A significant drop in the bearish volume on the next two candles here and here. And then you had the bullish volume come back in. And so like these two candles, let me zoom in on this, make it easier. These two candles here at 105 and here at 110, these candles with their volume really kind of were the signal that, okay, bulls are coming back into this. You know, it took out a low, it trapped some bears, and then it formed a double bottom, and it just ran from there. There are some great opportunities with options. That's what you're here for anyway, right? Looking at the 1950 calls, it put in a tremendous base right at 350. 354 could have been buying in that range. Even just waiting over here. I mean, if you had bought over here 4x3, you could have flipped it out for 2R going up to 6. And then over here, the volume got a little bit light, which I was a little surprised to the 1950. But still could have done 4x3 and just held on for the ride. I mean, you could have exited at 6. That worked really well too. But it just continued to run up, put a new high on the option on the day. We got up past 1880, which is past the earlier high in the day. And this is where I was talking about, was it Friday or Monday? I don't remember which day it was. It was Friday, because I said we could gap down. Well, it wasn't, sorry, it was Friday's video that I did on Sunday once I saw that the futures were down. And I said about it going down here and looking for it to bounce and come up into these pivots. Well, today was a continuation of that move. So now that we've continued up, let me go back to the options. We'll finish up with that. So it put in a really nice base. That's a great place to be buying and just set your stop. I like when it does this kind of a base for so long and then does a breakout. And obviously it didn't really do that on the puts. This is the 1700 put, just to show the tight range that I got at that evening star reversal. It actually, it formed the evening star. The high of it was the bullish candle and the bearish candle back down. This was at 920. So after 920, so 920 is right here. After 920, you still could have bought about the same price at about $3, or even done like 350 by 250 and just bracketed this, looking for that setup. And it still worked. It worked here at 930, here at 920.35, and then you kind of caught a low there. But still, for 10 minutes after an evening star reversal on the 5 minute, you could have gotten into this. And again, just held on till the previous high up around 750, or just let it continue to go. If you were looking for a target around 1815, it didn't get there. And maybe that would have been like 11, just because it didn't quite move that far. But still, a tremendous move from 350 all the way up to 1050. So that was the big move. Looking at the puts, coming back in here now. So zooming out, this is what I had kind of sketched earlier, and I was trying to find the right place for it. Let me draw it on the, actually, let me move back a little bit and see. Okay. So I want to redraw something from last week. Come on. Give me the drawing tool. There you go. So I had drawn a triangle like this and talked about it breaking out and then coming back and retest and going up. And that didn't happen. We did do this S curve and we just plummeted. We got down below the apex, which can still happen and then it can go, but obviously it didn't do that either. It continued down. So what's easier to see now, obviously with hindsight, is you can draw a wider triangle, even bigger like this, and see, oh, we were coming into, kind of this zone as the apex, barely got into that here, and broke down, clearly retested into the low here, with a high here and tried again with a high here, and then from there we went lower. So this is a much bigger triangle. Let me get rid of some of these lines. There we go. Okay. This is a bigger triangle. This is the triangle from not the all-time high, but still, just a consolidation here that we've broken down, made a low, and then we've tried to come back up to and made a slightly lower low. This zone has still been a really good resistance. We need to get a close up above this to really sustain and maintain these lows here. I'm sorry, we need to get a close up here to really show that we're continuing on up. Right now, even with this breaking down some more after hours, there's still a potential that we could come back down to this, and then with these higher lows, this starts to look like another triangle. Now, this one was a symmetric triangle. This one is is it descending, ascending? I think it's ascending, because this is ascending on the bottom side. I think that's ascending, and I think the descending one would be like that shape. That would be D. Sad triangles. Anyway, if we do that, there is the potential that we break down again, just like we broke down here with some, kind of consolidation initially, like down in here. We could do that, and then that opens the gate to a continued move lower. It really is going to depend on if there's a lot of fear continuing to, come into the market, and people getting out of positions for whatever their reasons are. And having a little bit more of a sell-off, wouldn't be a problem. It's more of a correction. But we, looking back at the daily, we've done this before, where we put in a low here, and then made another low, and made a couple more lows, and then we bounced. I mean, there's a little bit of this setting up already, where we made a low, and then another low. We're at that point, made a low and another low, and we could, it's hard to see. Okay, made a low, recovered a bit, rolled back down, made another low, then you got a bullish day, going back up, and continuing down. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just trying to look at what's happened in the past to figure out, well, where could we be? I tried even copying some of these. This is a kind of a down angle that you find the right place and things really line up. And I'm just not finding the right place to set this right now. It just doesn't really seem like it fits. So I don't know that we have this kind of framework yet. The framework that I like a lot more is these kind of green lines that are moving up. It's going with the trend. We're showing that we've made a significant low here, another significant low here. We've stayed above this low. This is the real low recently. This one was back in 2018. This one we've really held on to really well. Made some relatively close lows here, but we stayed above it. Now, if this comes down further, this one could be taken out. Now that doesn't change the general up of Amazon, just because you really got to take out this low, get way back down into was it 1300 something? Let's see, 1377.45 below down here. No, I'm not on the right candle. 1307. That was what it was. 1307. I kind of remember that day. It's a long time ago, or it seems like it was a long time ago. But you know, if we get back down to 1300, that's going to be a great place to buy. Just like if we get down to 1665 in here, it's going to be a great place to buy. This was a place to buy here and it moved up. This was a place to buy here, moved up. I'm not saying this is going to be the low. There could be a couple more lows. I'd like them a little more spread out, but it's possible just the timing wise. We got this one in. We could make another one relatively soon. I mean, this one's already pretty quick here, faster than these two. We've had a bigger decline, so that's part of it, or faster decline. And a bigger decline from here to here. From this time frame, actually, it would take a little more time to get off the high. To go from this high to this low, I think is much quicker. But anyway, I'm just trying to compare to what we've done before to see if that gives us an idea of where we're at. And I still think this is really bullish, but I'm ready to take a trade in either direction. And we just need to wait for really the right setup to do that. So if we get some more choppiness, we could continue forming this triangle here, be held under like 1900 and held above like 1880. 1863.84. This one. If we stay in this space and have bearish inside, smaller day, and then pop or then drop, I mean, it should continue in that direction for a bit. But the triangles are kind of coming into play or forming a little better. Let's see if I flip to 15, or maybe I have to go to the 30. Nope, the 15 does it too. Okay, so the 15 is trying to draw a bunch of symmetric triangles. They're not symmetric, but that's what it's trying to do. But you can see it's trying to draw, so it's got a similar line to this. Let me go to 30 and see if it doesn't auto draw on something. Yeah, so it drew this one that I had drawn, both like this one and this one. So I was sketching those. And then it does have a triangle here. It's trying to do it symmetric. But like I said, if we go with higher lows and a flat top here, it fits way better than trying to make up some angle like this or like this. Now, one thing I do like is, let me go back down to the 5. Because I had drawn this on my chart at one point today. Let's see. Where did I draw it? No, I used... trying to think of where I drew it. Oh, you know what? I don't think I had after hours on. So I drew I connected from here to here and made that a lower high. And then I drew from here to here to here and made that higher lows. And that made a triangle breaking out around this price, which it ended up doing. It just formed in the triangle. It didn't hold this high. It made a new high. So it looked like it was breaking out. So that'd be a good place if we do open up with a gap up to come back down to 1880, 1865, and then bounce again. That would be a great S-curve, like kind of what we're doing right here. But we'll just have to wait and see how it opens up. And, see, again, with hindsight, which kind of triangle plays out. The other way to kind of draw... really 1900 is this zone in here is a great place to kind of look at these triangles. They're somewhat opposing triangles. If you instead of drawing this one as symmetric like this, if we just draw this with lower highs and kind of a flat bottom here, making it a descending triangle, then you continue this out over here, and now you've got an ascending triangle, and they're somewhat opposing, It's just like you're dancing on the 1900 price, and you're just balancing out some bullishness with some bearishness. Now the bearishness got a little larger here than the bullishness got here, but we're looking for that kind of like a balance. If we chop around in here, it'll be similar to this day, or if we can get up a little higher and chop around, so we're on the opposite side of the 1900 line, that'd be a great place to kind of pause. And then, first the bullishness, bullish triangle, or at least the triangle higher than 1900 played out, and then the triangle lower than 1900 played out. And both are meant to trap everybody before it goes more in whatever direction. So if more bulls are getting in here and then we get up here, it'll probably break down and go bearish just because it'll trap more bulls. If we stay down here and then break down, that'll probably be more of a bear trap because more bears will pile in, and then it'll break out and leave them trapped and stop out some of the bulls, and then the rest of people who stayed in will it'll come back up here and start to be profitable, and then people will get back in, and then it'll pull back. But it's just interesting to kind of frame it. This is a really nice level, and I just see a lot of similarities to what we've done below it to what we did above it. So, taking a bigger step back, recognizing, okay, it's going to move tomorrow. Is it going to be, a pause in here, a pause in here? I'm not expecting a big day tomorrow. If we get a huge day directionally, be great. If it's bearish, great. Let's look for some more bearishness to come in. If it's bullish, great. Let's look for some more bullishness to come in, just getting in on a retest in either direction. But yeah, I'm really in kind of a wait and see how this is going to start to move. But yeah, that's what I got. I hope this helps. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.